I'm telling you, Octavia, we managed to get ourselves lost. Unless they were hacked by some D-bag, the GPS satellites don't lie, and... Why's that camera on? Ah, crap, that reminds me, I'm supposed to do the episode review this week. Ah, fuck, well, this isn't exactly the ideal place to do it. I mean, for Celestia's sake, I'm in the middle of nowhere! With a pony who plays a cello for a living who can't read a map. Hey, Octavia, why don't you do a little bit of scouting? I got a few things I need to take care of here. Okay, awesome. Alright, let's get this review started. Hello, my name is Hunter, the movie reviewing pony, because when it comes to cinema, humans cannot be trusted. And this week I'm coming to you from the middle of, well, goddamn nowhere. Sorry about that, got assigned to do something here up north. I'd go into detail, but, well, it's classified. So yeah, I figured I would sit by the fire for this review. But, as you can see, that's pretty much not an option. But regardless, that's not gonna stop me from reviewing this episode. Episode 6, Appaloosa's Most Wanted. Did someone do this on purpose? Making me review an episode about them being down there in the desert where it's warm while I die up here where it's freezing? This episode stars, oddly enough, not Applejack, but Applebloom and her two friends. Oh, good job. You managed to deceive me again, Hasbro. Well, thankfully this one isn't as bad as Equestria Games. Actually, do we really need another Cutie Mark Crusaders episode this early in the season? Normally we have those spaced out. It should have been like episode 12 until we got a new Cutie Mark Crusaders episode. And if this is the frequency of which Cutie Mark Crusader episodes are going to come out, I'm not sure I want to be a part of that. Now this does not mean I hate the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I just think we need to space out the episodes that focus around them. We had back-to-back Spike episodes back in Season 4 and it was a disaster. But anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at Appaloosa's Most Wanted. Even though I could definitely show you the list. So the episode opens up with every pony wearing the most interesting variety of hats I have ever seen. Oh yeah, real quick, I forgot to mention, don't mind the Ministry watermark down in the corner there. I have to record this on a Ministry camera and I can't figure out how to get rid of that. Seriously, is this a hat convention or a rodeo? Although a TF2 player gathering is not out of the question either. Anyway, it isn't long before Applebloom and the
Cutie Mark Acquisition Program
show up for what reason exactly?
If we can get into some of these events, we can all three walk off the train back in Ponyville with brand spanking new Cutie Marks.
Alright, let's face it, this is an obsession with the three of them. What are these three gonna do with their lives once they actually get their Cutie Marks? They're gonna have absolutely nothing to do with their lives. Which is what I imagine Babseed is doing now. Here's an important lesson about life. It's not a good idea to obsess over your Cutie Mark. I had a friend who did that. It did not end well. He's not dead or anything. It's just his Cutie Mark ended up being a plunger and, well, he had to go through a lot of therapy. Anyway, all is not well here in Appaloosa.
We need a big presence at this here rodeo, so make yourself plenty seen. I want that low-down varmint to know we mean business.
So let me get this straight. You want to deal with this criminal person, whoever he may be, by being as obvious as possible at this rodeo. This is not how you deal with criminals in, like, any society. And then there's a shadow behind a bunch of hay bales. To symbolize that criminal's on the loose. Ooh. Seriously though, I think you already made that abundantly clear. After this, we get our opening title sequence. Big adventure, tons of fun, all that stuff. Spike's not in this episode, which makes me like this episode even more. Though it must be nice to be down there in Appaloosa while I'm up here freezing! Anyway, so they got this whole rodeo thing going on, and... well, actually, I don't really have that much to go over. There's just a rodeo going on. I mean, what am I supposed to say? I've never been to a friggin' rodeo, even though they hold one down there, like, every month. Appaloosans really like their rodeos. And hey, look! Braybird's in this episode! Yay! You're not gonna ship him or anything, are you? Seriously, he's shipped like crazy. So this scene goes into detail about how Applejack is filling in for Braybird during the rodeo. What plot relevance does this have? Well, normally you'd think it would have plenty, but actually, it has none. Though I guess it does give Applejack a reason to be in Appaloosa. Wish I had a reason to be in Appaloosa. You have no idea how cold it is up here. You know what I could go for right about now? Like, a warm fire. Or at least some hot cocoa. Oh my god, hot cocoa sounds so good right about now. Anyway, it turns out that the
Cutie Mark Acquisition Program
took off somewhere, only to appear less than 30 seconds later. So far, I'm not noticing too much of a plot here. But worry not, because moments later, the plot starts! As the massive pile of hay bales they just stacked up begins to fall over. And not kill anyone. By the way, is this just the weakest bunch of bleachers? If the bleacher collapses due to a bunch of hay bales which aren't too heavy, I don't think I want to be sitting on one. Yeah, no thanks, Appaloosa. I'll sit over there somewhere. Anyway, the sheriff comes to a conclusion as to what caused this whole quote-unquote disaster.
No doubt. It's Trouble Shoes.
Wait. What? Trouble Shoes? You're having problems with Trouble Shoes. That is pathetic. He's like 88 on the MSS's most wanted list. No wonder we didn't send anyone. Come back when General Dark Talon blows up your clock tower or something, then you can come complain to us about your problems, Appaloosa. Seriously, of all the people on our most wanted list, Queen Chrysalis, Tyrek, Galdron the Dragon, Marauder Merrill, Grendelmore the Godlike Griffin? Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Hey, Octavia! Appaloosa's most wanted is frickin' Trouble Shoes! See, we think it's funny. Alright, we've been going on with this for too long. The point is, Appaloosa's problems don't really compare to the rest of Equestria.
But dag puffet, this has gone far enough. We'll double the patrols. This rodeo will go on. Appaloosa ain't gonna be intimidated.
That's about damn time, Appaloosa. Okay, before you guys go nuts, we don't hate Appaloosa. They're just kind of backwards compared to the rest of Equestria. I mean, for Luna's sake, they fought with pies once. Anyway, Applejack decides that it's too dangerous for the Cutie Mark Crusaders to stay, so she wants them to go home. But Braybird insists that they don't need to go home and agrees to keep an eye on them while Applejack goes and enjoys the rodeo or something. Wait, you only have 3 locks and a chair? Anyway, the whole Braybird watching them thing doesn't exactly last long. And so the 3 of them proceed to sneak out the window. Why exactly, you may ask?
To find Trouble Shoes.
You know what? They could probably do it. Unfortunately, they managed to get themselves hopelessly lost, and by hopelessly lost, they ended up in a dense forest. So Pony, want to explain to me how they ended up in a dense forest when they started in Appaloosa, which has no forest around it? In fact, I'm pretty sure back in Season 1, Applejack said there was no plant land around Appaloosa. Looks to be plenty to me. Oh yeah, and then it starts raining. Again, in the middle of the desert. This is not what the climate is like down there at all. I don't understand how you're able to screw up the climate this badly. Anyway, Brayburn relays the bad news that the Cutie Mark Crusaders ran off. The two of them go to the sheriff, who is busy playing poker. There's a joke in here somewhere, but I cannot for the life of me figure out what it is. Actually, to my surprise, the sheriff ends up being helpful. Anyway, then there's this scene with a mudslide, but yeah, and that's about it with that. And they find this old shack out in the middle of the woods. For whatever reason, they have the brilliant notion to go inside. Because going into houses out in the middle of the woods is alright, I guess. Fuck. Actually, no, it isn't, because this happens. Ah! You know, I think we might have to rearrange the most wanted list. So this bloody enormous horse is Troubleshoes, who gives off a very Eeyore vibe. He's clumsy and it's funny, I guess. Actually, last time I checked, that gag wasn't funny anymore. So it turns out his special talent is bad luck, and he insists that the three of them leave before something goes horribly wrong.
We don't really know the way back to Appaloosa.
But of course I do.
Yay! This'll give us the chance to establish more plot! Oh yeah, and the rain stopped conveniently. What's up with that? Anyway, Troubleshoes tells us that when he was a young lad, he used to love rodeos. But the thing is, he completely sucked at doing it himself. By the way, apparently they were friends with the buffalo back then. But anyway, while auditioning for the rodeo, he apparently got his cutie mark completely at random. Which just goes against everything we've come to believe. Cutie marks do not appear at random, especially ones that have nothing to do with what you're doing at this very moment. Oh my god. I think this episode is actually destroying itself. So Troubleshoes went into exile and is banished from all rodeos because he's the clumsiest thing in Equestria. So he goes into exile and the rest of the town thinks he's a criminal. We put this guy on the most wanted list. Why exactly? Because it sounds like you guys are just jumping to friggin' conclusions. You know what? No, I'm calling bullshit on this one. I think Appaloosa was just shoveling us a whole bunch of bullshit when they said this guy was their most wanted criminal. Once I get back to headquarters, I'm putting in a motion to take him off the most wanted list. Because that spot clearly belongs to Bandolier British Hooves now. Anyway, Applebloom comes up with a rather interesting idea.
If we saw a rodeo clown doing what he did back in that shack, we'd think he was the greatest.
Yes, but are you aware that this is a wanted criminal that you want to make into a rodeo clown? Oh right, he's a wanted criminal. Oh, did you forget that bit? By the way, I love that these two think that they can hold him down with those tiny ropes. Also, he looks so surprised at these turn of events. You know what? I don't think I'm liking this episode so far. It's certainly not a bad episode, but it's not good. The rest of the scene goes down pretty much how you'd expect it to. The Cutie Mark Crusaders say he's understood, and everyone else is like, we don't care. Because they're too angry to listen to reason. Oh my god, it's like watching a train wreck that happens over the course of 22 minutes. That's what this episode is turning into, a train wreck. Then we cut to the next day, and Applejack insists that she's too busy to listen to reason. And also, part of the problem is the Cutie Mark Crusaders' failure to explain what was going on last night. Oh, but don't worry. The Cutie Mark Crusaders have come up with a brilliant plan. Step 1, use Sweetie Belle's magic, which she apparently has now, to break Troubleshoes out of jail. Step 2, dress him up as the most terrifying thing ever created by any society ever, a clown. What is the deal with clowns? Over half the population of the planet thinks they're scary. They get paid minimum wage. They're scary. No one even goes to the circus anymore. And that's just not in your universe. It's the same in our universe. But guess what? For the plot's convenience, he's friggin' hilarious. Yep, there it is. The angry review voice has returned. By the way, holy sweet Celestia, that trophy is enormous. But yeah, Troubleshoes is apparently the funniest thing in the universe. Because physical injury is oh so hilarious. Seriously, if this is what I had to do for the rest of my life, I would probably... I don't know what I would do, honestly. But then everyone has a good laugh and Troubleshoes' identity is revealed. But it's okay, because everyone is now conveniently willing to listen to the Cutie Mark Crusaders.
But he never wanted to ruin any rodeos. Those were just bad accidents.
Sweetie Belle, what are you talking about?
See, it's gone from them telling them to shut the hell up to them actually listening to them. I'm sorry, but no, this is just too convenient of a plot point. I can't ignore this. They could have listened to them last night while they were tying this guy up. Regardless, everyone's willing to overlook everything that he's done because he's bloody hilarious.
We could understand all the trouble with the rodeos.
Oh, really? Is that why you convicted him as a criminal and everything? I'm sorry, I don't see why he doesn't sue your town for hate crimes.
But why'd you have to run off with these here little ones last night?
Yeah, about that.
And then as punishment, the three of them have to clean up the entire rodeo. Why exactly?
Teach you not to go wandering off after I say not to.
Oh, yeah, really, because that's the only issue going on right now. Not the fact that this entire town ought to be sued for hate crimes. Or the fact that clowns are scary. Or the fact that Troubleshoes probably just put several ponies in the hospital. No, apparently the moral of the story is don't run off into the woods by yourself. I'm sorry, didn't we already have that moral?
Sleepless in Ponyville. Don't go into the woods by yourself, you moron!
Okay, I know that's not the moral for this episode, but that doesn't save it! The plot is straightforward enough, but the episode could have been cut in half if all the characters outside the Cutie Mark Crusaders weren't being completely ignorant and slightly out of character. Hell, the episode could have been avoided entirely if Troubleshoes would have just explained that everything was an accident. There's too many convenient plot points which are just unnatural. The conclusion is weak because suddenly everyone wants to listen to the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Nobody liked clowns. And what makes things worse is we're coming right off of Tanks for the Memories, which was a fantastic episode. I won't bash it too hard. The animation was great, the voice acting was great, and all the usual elements were great, but the story and plot behind this was just a disaster. Hasbro, we love you, but this episode wasn't good, man. It wasn't bad. It was not bad. But it wasn't good. Here's hoping that next week we get something a little better than this. Anyway, my name is Hunter, and this has been a Hunter Review. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go shoot things. Octavia, you probably won't need those sunglasses. Alpha Theta 269, put me through to headquarters. Understood. Yes, it's me. We have confirmed the General's location. Do we have permission to engage? We have been in pursuit for 3 days. Yes, Princess Luna, I understand. We will attempt capture, but if all else fails, I'm putting a bullet in his head. Understood. Octavia, we have a green light.